my best friend that I know.
Hey there, I'm Mark Toser-Torle, tubing it up at the Coca-Cola 2 Park. Today we speed around with crazy Canuck Steve Podborski. Strap your helmet on tight. This is your Whistler Blackcomb snowcast presented by Dylan!
I'm going down, way down below. I'm going down, way down below.
My name is Steve Podborski. I'm the assistant chef de mission for our Olympic team. I'm a team leader. It's a fantastic job. I'm going to help those athletes win a ton of medals, and then I'm going to make sure they get to the medal ceremony on time and stand up there and we all get to sing the national anthem together. It's just a great time to be alive. Being part of the Crazy Canucks was actually a very wonderful and comforting thing. It's literally a Cinderella story in as much as the Canadian team started off with nothing. I mean, we couldn't possibly imagine going out and winning World Cup races, Olympic medals, World Cup championships, and in fact, that's what we ended up doing. Now, I was really lucky. I won an Olympic bronze medal in the 1980 Games in Lake Placid, New York. I didn't know what to expect, and it turned out to be one of the really most important events in my life. Not necessarily because the race was so tough. It was a pretty easy course, but because it's the Olympics. And I can go anywhere. I can go in Georgia or Uganda and say I won an Olympic medal, and people get it. Even if they've never seen a flake of snow in their life, they get the Olympics. If I say I won in Kitzbühel, they go, good for you. The Olympic medal is pretty special. The Dave Murray downhill at the Olympics is going to be truly an Olympic downhill. Oftentimes when you have to get an Olympics in a city that's big enough for the games, you have a pretty weak downhill. In this case, we've got one of the finest in the world.
Now, ski racing legend Steve Podborski is going to give us a first-hand look at the 2010 Olympic downhill course. So I'm standing in the starting gate of the Olympic course on the Dave Murray downhill, which stretches down the hill, the maximum vertical drop behind me into the valley. And this is the last safe place for the racer before they start. He'll gather his thoughts, prepare, and then leap off into the void, chasing his Olympic dream. So the Weasel is the first really big challenge for the ski racer on the Dave Murray downhill during the Olympic Winter Games. It goes from a real flat and just dives off into the Weasel part of the hill. The challenge here is that it gets super steep and it's really rolly. This will be like solid, hard, unbelievably crazy ice. So here we are at the bottom of the Weasel, about 200 meters down the hill. And this area is where you can come during the Olympics and somewhere in this region be able to watch the racers whizzing down the Weasel through this compression and then over the rise, over the tunnel into fall-away. Here we are at the top of the sewer. It's about twice as wide as it used to be back in the day when we first started skiing the Dave Murray downhill in the 60s. And it goes straight down into Coach's Corner. This is some of the fastest part of the downhill. And the snow will be about 100 times harder than this. This is nice and grippy. We used to call it Coach's Corner because the coaches would all stand down there and watch for their racers coming along with their sore, tired legs and bad course prep. And for sure, one of the kids would come along and ski would fly off, and they'd be doing a big tumble all the way off into the wood. The trees here have been moved back quite a bit in preparation for the Olympics, so we have a much wider downhill course than we would have before. So these guys are going to come booking over that last gap jump, then flying off that last kicker, and a good 130 across the finish line, which is right here at the bottom of the pitch. So you spend the whole last pitch praying that you could just gather another 100th of a second. Then across here, a little flat stop, wave to the crowd, check out your time, see how you did. We caught up with another one of Whistler Blackcomb's bloggers. Let's see what they've been up to.
I'm Barrick Pocklington, the Friday blogger for Whistler Blackcomb website. I've lived in Whistler here for about 10 out of the last 23 years, off and on, come and go. Something keeps drawing me back to Whistler. It must be the mountains, you know, and the incredible snow we get here. My day for the blogs is Friday, and I focus more on getting the weekenders pumped about the weekend. I'll be out on the mountain on Thursdays and Fridays and getting a feel for the areas that have the best snow conditions, whether it be in the trees or in the high alpine or wherever they can show their friends and family that they're bringing up here where the best snow conditions are going to be and give them the greatest day they can imagine.
Whoa! That put the extreme in tubular. Just want to say thanks to Steve Podborski for kicking it with us today.
Also, if you are coming out for the Olympics and need more information on parking, transportation, what's open, all these things, go to whistlerblackcomb.com/Olympics. I'm going to keep getting tubular in this thing. Until next time, I'm your hostess with the toastess, Mark Toaster Torley. This has been your Whistler Blackcomb Snowcast presented by TELUS.